Greetings and salutations, everybody, and Merry Christmas as well, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be released on Christmas Day. Welcome to the CanUK podcast, the podcast done by fans, for fans, of everything nerdy. I am your host, Lord X, and I welcome you to the show this week. I have no funny thing this week because I wasn't really thinking of anything. Joining me this week on the podcast, he may be a member of the NSA spying on us all. It's Israel Pacheco.
Yeah, I'm here infiltrating YouTube. So, yeah, I just got stuff in my throat all of a sudden. Shit. Anyway, how's everybody doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, I'm saying it like there's 5 people here. Like, how's everybody doing? Oh, hey, how you doing?
They're here in spirit.
Yeah, they're here in spirit, the listeners or / watchers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting episode, since, we're heading to the end of the year, and looking back on some of the games that have come out this year, some more movie news. Mm-hmm. Very superhero-centric, as always.
Indeed. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Got a whole bunch, and hopefully next week, if we're able to record and things go well, we will do something of a best of or favorites of this past year with games, movies, TV shows, anything nerdy, really. So probably, hopefully, look forward to that next week if we're able to record. If not, in the new year sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Without further ado, though, let's dive into what we have for you all this week. And we're going to start off this week with we don't usually pick up an article and talk about it, but IGN put out this great article this past week by Keza McDonald. I wish I could do Gamer Greggy's impression of her, but I can't. Oi, it's me, Keza McDonald!
Oh, it's me, Keza McDonald!
Anyway, she put out a great article this past week called IGN's 18 Great Games You May Have Missed in 2013. And when me and Israel went through the list here, well, we kind of missed almost all of them, so
Yeah.
This is going to be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. You missed a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's take the games one by one here. If we know about them, we can talk about them. If we don't, we'll just skip over them. First and foremost here is Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which has gotten a lot of praise this past year.
Yeah, it has. I know Daniel Kaiser's been crazy about this game.
And Toto Biscuit as well. It was his game of the year.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played this one, but it is on my radar. I do want to play it before the end of the year. I know you've played it, so what'd you think about this game?
I thought it was... when I first started playing the game, I really wasn't sure about it. It just felt weird in many ways, and like I mentioned on the podcast before, the characters talk like The Sims. So that was kind of a turn-off at the beginning, but I have to say, the more I played it, the more I really, really fell in love with the game. The control scheme was incredibly well done. It's like, wow, I don't know why nobody has ever done this before. So innovative. And yeah, the story was just beautifully told throughout the actions of the characters and the world itself. You go through some very, very unique environments in that game. When I was doing up my top 10 games of the year, which should be up by the time this video is out, yeah, Brothers was high up on the list for that when I was putting together my nominees, I should say. So yeah, I really enjoyed Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Everybody should play that game. And it's out on every platform, too.
Yeah. I definitely got to pick this up before the end of the year. It's one of those games, one of those smaller titles that I definitely want to play. And it only takes, a few hours to complete, right? It's not too long.
I think it's maybe a 5-hour game.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Let's check here. I can see how long I played it on Steam for. Brothers.
I'm still thinking about the Greg Miller Cousin McDonald. Oi! It's me, Cousin McDonald!
Let's
With
see.
the mark.
My Steam time played was 3 hours, actually. So
Oh, really?
It is
Even
a very
shorter.
short game, yeah. But well worth the money. I think
That's cool. I don't mind short games either, because you could get through them, quickly and digest them, easily. It doesn't take you 30 hours
yeah.
to get through it.
It's no JRPG, that's for sure.
There's no GTA 5 30 hours. Jeez.
Well, that's just the end credits, though.
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't include all the side stuff. But anyway, moving on to the next game here on the list, and that is the Swapper, which I hadn't heard of before or played. It says right here that it's atmospheric puzzler, very creepy, cerebral story. So I hadn't heard about this. So this is one of those games that definitely flew way under my radar.
I had heard about it, mostly, I think, due to the X Factor with Brant Adams and Lauren Baumgarten. They've talked about it a few times on there. And I've seen it go up on sale a couple times on Steam. It's a game I've been waiting for to hit that, $5 mark before I pick it up. Or a Humble Bundle, probably, but it looks interesting. It really does. But other than that...
I gotta check some footage out of the game, because, like I said, I hadn't heard about it, hadn't seen any footage or anything. But it sounds interesting, the premise that they have going for them.
Yep. The next game here on the list is Gone Home, which have played, and it's interesting. Haven't played much of it because it kind of scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I haven't played any of this. I've definitely heard about this because, as you know, we reference Greg Miller.
Yeah.
He's been talking about this game a lot. I know Adam Sessler. I think he gave this his game of the year from like Rev 3 Games, was it? Or
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Was it Rev 3 Games? I know that's where he works. That's where he works now, and I don't remember if this was his game of the year or not. But I remember seeing something. I might be confusing it with another website. But yeah, I've heard a lot about this game. A lot of people have been talking about it. I'm wondering if they're going to port it to the consoles at one point, since it's been, so highly praised. Similar to what happened with Hotline Miami and, of course, Minecraft before that. So it seems like an interesting game. I've heard, some people say the price point's a little too high, the $20. But
what kind of turned me off from it before? I picked it up during a sale for, I want to say $8. It was half off, I believe. And it was kind of worth it at that point. I mean, it's one of those, how to say, it's a game, but really not a game at the same. It's kind of like Dear Esther or stuff like that. Or the Stanley Parable, that kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, it's just a strange experience.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next one we got here. It's called Star Wall, Just a Tip. That definitely sounds like some sort of sexual reference. But you play as a narwhal in space, and it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah. If anybody wants to see more on this game, just go look up the Rooster Teeth guys, because they did a 30-minute Let's Play onto it. And it's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm watching like a clip of this. What the fuck? What in the hell is this? It's just floating in the air. What in the hell? Wow, this is so weird. Now I get the Just a Tip reference because of the damn horns they have. This is so retarded. Oh, I gotta play this. But, yeah, that got us completely sidetracked. But anyway.
Right. I haven't played it myself, but I've seen enough to know that I kind of want to play it, but eventually.
It looks really stupid.
Yeah. I can see it being fun with a bunch of people, though.
Mm-hmm.
The next game on this list is something I've heard a lot of, but haven't really played or seen much of, and that's Cookie Clicker.
Yeah, I haven't played, but I have heard about it. Cookie Clicker.
This is like an iOS game or something?
I think it's one of those games you just... I'm trying to think what to compare it to, where you just do things over and over and over, and you get some sort of satisfaction from clicking the mouse constantly.
Oh, Jesus.
And so that's what I've gathered from what I've heard about the game, but it doesn't seem like something I would personally want to play. But I could understand it could be addictive if it's, one of those games. But it's personally not for me. Let's see.
Yeah.
Cookie Clicker. Yeah. It might be a browser game. That's what it looks like. Browser game. Yeah. Me. Doesn't seem like anything I would be interested in.
Okay, yeah, it is a browser game. I have it loaded.
Oh, okay. Cookie Clicker. All right, so moving on to the next game here on the list. It's called Shelter, and it seems like a very sad game. I'm trying to read the description here. It's short and bittersweet with a heart-rending conclusion. It reminded me of the animals of Farthing Wood. It's a tribute to nature's beauty, but to its cruelty too. So you must try to guide your cubs through the perils of the forest, keeping them fed and safe, whilst darkness and other creatures threaten to steal them away. So you play as a badger.
Actually, Jester has told me a bit about this game, and said it was really good. Short, but really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know if I need another depressing game, though.
But it has badgers. Badger.
Yeah, I might check this out. It sounds interesting, the premise, with playing as a parent badger and taking your children through the forest and keeping them safe. Yeah.
The next game we have here on the list is Monaco. What's yours is mine. I've heard a lot of praise on this game. I've seen little gameplay of it, but I keep hearing really good things about it, especially if you're playing with a bunch of friends.
This looks like an Atari 2600 game.
It's one of those.
Very simple. Let's see if
it's kind of, from what I've seen, it's kind of like Thomas Was Alone meets Ocean's 11.
Yeah, I'm watching a clip, real quick. Oh, this is a game review itself. Yeah, it looks very, very simple. It has a top-down perspective. This kind of reminds me of Hotline Miami. Like, the whole top-down view, running through rooms. So I could see where this could be fun. But I hadn't heard about this one either. It seems that's the case with all these games we keep talking about.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, because at least we've heard of some of them. But
yeah. But I keep my eye open on Monaco. I want to buy it, but I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for it to appear in a Humble Bundle, to be honest.
All right, so moving on to the next game here. It's called Kentucky Route Zero, which is, based on classic adventure games.
Point and click for the win!
Point and click. I'm going to click, speaking of click, on this video clip right here to get, some sort of idea. I don't know if this is going to be the video review or just a clip from let me skip through a little bit through. Yeah, it's a very simple point and click adventure. Well, I had seen some footage about this over on Game Trailers when they had a discussion about indie games, so
Hmm.
I remember seeing something about this, so.
Yeah, I believe Deep Seated Geek has actually talked about this a few times as well, and from what I've heard, it's pretty good, but it's not finished. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of those games that, they put out the first part, but part two still hasn't come along yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had heard about this game actually, yeah. Now that you mention that, about being like episodic
Hmm.
in its nature, but
All right.
let's see.
Next game here on the list is Antechamber, which, from what I know, is a puzzle game, kind of like Portal, but it will question how you go about solving puzzles. And if I remember correctly, it is still on sale on Steam for $4.99. Which, why haven't I bought that yet?
I'm watching the video right now, the video clip, and it looks really trippy. Like the
Yep.
color scheme and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really, really, wow. I'm almost tripping out here just watching the video clip. Jeez. Antechamber, yeah.
It kind of has that, like, painted on, no, I don't want to say painted on style, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a very unique art style, that's for sure. It's like drawn, yeah, it's like drawn art, I guess.
It does look very, very unique. It definitely does. I haven't seen something so minimalistic but so like that type of art style.
Hmm.
Trying to think, what was that game from last year that was on PS3 that had like the ink blots?
The Unfinished Swan.
Yeah, that one. Sort of like that, but this looks even like more different. Like it looks kind of trippy.
Hmm.
But anyway, moving forward, the next game we have here on the list is Papers, Please, which I've heard a lot about this game. I haven't played it myself, but have you played it?
I have played it. It's actually one of the few games here I've played. It's very good. Very simple. I mean, just the concept of the game seems mundane when you first look at it because
Mm.
it's old Soviet Union style era that you're in, and you're basically a border patrol person sitting in a booth, like checking people's passports. It sounds boring. It sounds mundane and ridiculous.
Yeah, it does.
However, it's one of the games that will make you question your morality more than anything else.
Wow.
I'll give one little example here. I was at one situation where a guy comes up, he puts in his passport, so like going through everything, it's like, okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Good to go. Give him the stamp of approval, and go to send him on his way. And before he leaves, he's like, oh, thank you very much. I'm so happy to finally be entering the country. My wife is right behind me. So he goes forward, his wife comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Her papers are not perfect. They're not right. And, well, she has to be denied access. Like, that's why if you're doing your job
because
properly,
of his wife.
yeah, you have to, like, deny her access because her papers are not in order. But at the same time, you're like, well, I could let her slip by and take a hit, like a strike against me. But at the time, I had 2 strikes already against me, so another one would mean I would start losing pay for that day. So it's like, well, I can either let you pass, or I can get the money I need to pay for my own family's survival.
Mm-hmm.
So it really questions, like, stuff you're doing. It's like, do I let this happy couple be together, or do I let my own family be happy? It really questions you in that regards.
That's what's interesting about these indie games, that they could do things like that.
Yeah.
That, it's not only like score based, but more like you question your own morality and different things that maybe the AAA games don't do.
Yeah.
And it's something so simple too, because I'm looking at the footage right here, and it's not very complex in its design.
Nope.
But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. If it goes up on the Steam sale, I would say buy it right away because it's so good.
Definitely got to check it out. Like I said, I heard so many people talk about it.
All right. The next game here on our list is a 3DS downloadable title of all things. That's Gunman Clive, which I have heard good things about this game. It's pretty much your standard run-of-the-mill side-scrolling platformer like Mario, but set in the old Wild West.
I just watched the footage, and I'm definitely going to grab my 3DS and buy this because it looked really cool. I really like the art style they're going for. The trailer was pretty funny. They're just poking fun at themselves. They're like, oh, there's lots of brown. This game was created by some people who did some other games. Like, usually when you watch some of these trailers, they're like, oh, highest rated developer, things like that. So it's funny that they made fun of themselves, and the art style looks really cool. Like just like some simple drawings.
Yep.
I really, really like this. I'm definitely checking this out later on. They said it's $2. I don't know if it's also $2 on 3DS or just iOS, since it's available on that too. It might be a little expensive on 3DS, knowing how they have their pricing structure. It might be like $5, but I don't know. I still want to check it out.
Yep.
All right, so moving on to this next game, which I've praised so many times over the last couple weeks, and that is Tearaway for the PlayStation Vita, which it definitely deserves to be on this list because a lot of people have missed it. I've spoken about it in depth on the podcast, and and now you'll be able to talk about it too. So
thanks to you. Thanks again, by the way, for gifting me a copy of that.
Yeah, I sent Lord X a digital code for this on the Vita because I wanted to spread the love, the Tearaway love, because I definitely want more people to play this game. And man, it was definitely incredibly unique, and I'm looking forward to the conversation that we'll have eventually when you get to play it and to see your reaction.
Well, I started it up just before the podcast recording. Already, it's quite amusing. Having that camera pointing at you and seeing yourself on the screen, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is, and as you get through the game, it just gets funnier because of the different things they do with the camera and stuff. And it looks gorgeous on the Vita too, like the art style on the OLED screen. So.
Yep. All right. Our next game on the list here is another PlayStation exclusive, and that's Ni no Kunai, Wrath of the White Witch. Stop listening to this podcast and go buy it. Now! Buy it!
Buy it, yeah.
This was by far one of the best JRPGs ever made. So good. Still need to finish it, but so goddamn good.
Yeah, I got this game on my backlog. I want to play it pretty soon. Like at least give it, play it for a couple hours and get impressions of the game. Because I know from like the demo that I played, I enjoyed that, and Studio Ghibli being involved in this, so and their iconic art style, and Level 5, which they've done other games like what was the last game that they did? I'm trying to think. Was it? Maybe I'm confusing them. Do they work on the Dragon Quest franchise? Let me think. Or is that another studio? Let me look them up real quick. Level 5.
Dragon Quest is Square Enix.
Yeah, Square Enix. I don't know why I thought...
The last real game I can think of them making was Rogue Legacy on the PS2, But
Yeah, I remember that
I
one.
know they've made more since.
Let's see. Games, Nintendo DS. Oh, the Professor Layton series. Yep,
Oh,
that's
yeah, duh.
that that's what I was getting confused with. It wasn't Dragon Quest. It was Professor Layton.
Well, the two series are very similar to one another.
Yeah, yeah, they're quite different, but I don't know. To me, it's all Japanese stuff. No, that sounds really offensive. But
Yeah, don't go Phil fishing it now.
oh yeah, they did do Dragon Quest 8. So and
They did, yeah.
the Dark Cloud series too.
Right.
So yeah,
Hey, level 5, give us a Dark Cloud 3.
yeah. So they have worked on RPGs. That's why I thought of Level 5
Mm-hmm.
and Rogue Galaxy, as you mentioned. But yeah, definitely. I definitely got to play this because I've heard a lot of praise of this game too.
Mm-hmm. All right, you've got our next one.
So the next one we got here is Proteus, which is available on the PlayStation Vita. Is it available on other platforms as of yet?
Yep.
Or is it still...
It's on PS3 and on PC, of course.
Okay, so checking out the clipper here, because I've heard the name, but I haven't actually played this, so I'm trying to get a sense. Oh, this looks really colorful.
It's colorful and unique. Kind of boring, though.
It is. It looks like a even more colorful version of Minecraft in a sense. Like, it's not as crude, like in the art style, as simplistic. Well, kind of, but I don't know. The person who's in the video, they're just walking around the world, and it kind of reminds me of Minecraft in a way. But it doesn't seem like you could craft anything in this.
No,
So.
it's basically a walk around and look at everything game.
Oh, okay then. Yep, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can do in that game is sit down. When I did a Let's Experience of that game months back, I dived into it. Like, okay, Proteus, I've heard great things about this. I can sit down. Is there anything else I can do? Nope, I can just sit down and look around. Awesome. It's beautiful, no doubt, but kind of boring. I'll try and link you to the video that I did of it.
Yeah, I definitely gotta check that out. It seems... I'm watching the video for the next game. This game looks ridiculous.
Oh, yes. Yes. And that next game on the list is Mount Your Friends.
This looks hilarious. What in the hell is going on?
Where Dead or Alive may have jiggle physics in place for the female characters, Mount Your Friends has dong physics.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Whoa. This is ridiculous. Oh man, I didn't notice that until you mentioned it. Wow. Yeah, this looks ridiculous.
If
Incredible.
anybody wants to see a video on this, look up Video Gamer TV plus Mount Your Friends. You will not regret it.
Wow. Man, these indie games. I don't even know what to say. It just looks ridiculous.
Yep.
It looks incredibly ridiculous. I guess we'll just move on to the next game.
Yep.
So the next one we got here is Cloudberry Kingdom, which I know it's available on a bunch of platforms. I remember this being released on the Wii U earlier this year. I have heard about it. I've seen some footage of the game. It looks like an incredibly challenging platformer, and that's why I didn't pick it up. So it looks like one of those games that would really frustrate me. But it's, old school 2D platforming, and if you, love those games or those styles of games, I'm looking at the footage right now, and it seems even more ridiculous with all the lasers that are going all over the map.
Yeah,
But,
it's crazy difficult from what I've seen.
It looks nuts, but at least I heard about it. And footage.
Yeah, that's more than I can say about the next game on the list here, and that's Castles in the Sky. According to the description here, it's a picture book game about a boy who floats in the air with his favorite balloon. Castles in the sky can only be described as lovely, especially if you can play it with a small child. That sounds so wrong. It's a delight. It won't take you long.
Oh, yeah, that sounded bad.
I'm not even sure what this is for, really. I haven't even heard of this game before.
I hadn't heard about this at all. It just looks like a mini game from like, one of those Nintendo collections. Like you just float around, and kind of reminds me of what's it called on NES? Oh, what's the name? That has got balloons also. I can't remember now. And they also have a game in Nintendo Land about it. Can't remember the name, but I'm sure somebody out there knows.
It's out on PC, apparently.
I hadn't heard about this before. So, the last and final game we have here is Mush, which, reading the description and it talking about John Carpenter's The Thing, it's got me interested because I love that damn movie. It's one of my favorite, like, horror/science fiction movies. Trying to check out some footage real quickly here of the game. Looks a bit like FTL, as it says here.
It does, yeah.
This looks interesting.
It's got that old, like, Super Nintendo style graphics.
Yeah, I like this.
Kind of like Chrono Trigger.
I like it's got a, giant, it looks like artificial intelligence, like from 2001 Space Odyssey, the HAL computer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's what it looks like. You're in charge, make the call, countless planets to explore. This does look interesting.
Huh. Yeah.
I hadn't heard about that one either, Mush. Yeah, these are...
Well, I guess they didn't do Mush
Oh.
everything for it.
That was a good one. Daniel Kaito would be proud. So yeah, that's it for the list of 18 games. I hope we didn't bore you to death. With saying, "Oh, we never heard about this. Let's see some footage." But
that's what happens here, folks. We're not professional in any way. We do not prepare for this stuff.
Yeah, it's off the cuff, as it happens. So I guess we can move into the next section we have here, which is going to be Nintendo related.
Yes, diving into our news stories.
Yep. The news roundup, and starting off, news roundup. But we're going to start off with some announcements from Nintendo's latest Nintendo Direct, which happened, when was it, a couple days ago? Sometime last week. Yeah, so, less than a week. Mm-hmm. So the first announcement right off the bat, which kind of...
Brand new Zelda game!
It threw them off, is a brand new Zelda game, but it isn't a traditional Zelda game. It's the Dynasty Warriors franchise meets The Legend of Zelda, basically, and the tentative title right now is Hyrule Warriors. And from what they showed in the footage, you saw Link fighting a bunch of different enemies from the Legend of Zelda series, and you saw like Hyrule and the landscapes and the castle. And when I first saw this, I was like, wait, it's like, is this really happening? And I watched it again. I was like, I'm not that... I know there's some people who are mad about it, and they're like, oh, this is going to ruin Zelda, and I just see it as like a side story. They're trying to create something different, and I could appreciate Nintendo trying something different.
This is going down the third alternate timeline.
Yeah. More like the 10th by now, because geez. But it looks interesting, and if they could create more... variety in the combat, because the Dynasty Warrior games are known for being, incredibly repetitive. If they could, switch it up a bit and maybe let you play with different characters from the Zelda franchise, maybe it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to this game, actually, like just checking it out to see how it turns out, because this is just so weird and so strange.
Yeah, it came into left field, that's for sure.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, wait, what? I thought I was like I was dreaming or something. I was like, is this real? It sounds like one of those April Fool pranks,
Yeah.
like the the websites do. Like, oh, they announced this game. Like, wow. But anyway, moving into the next bit of news here. Chibi-Robo returns to the West on the 3DS in Chibi-Robo Photo Finder. The Chibi-Robo series was, started back on the GameCube, right?
Yep.
And I don't believe there's been an entry in the series since then, has there? Maybe in Japan?
In Japan, in the West, no.
Yeah, in the West, no. So this one is a downloadable title for the 3DS, and it's going to be like augmented reality from what I saw in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The little Chibi-Robo is going to need some sort of item. For example, in the trailer, they showed like a roll of toilet paper you took a picture of, and then the character grabbed it and took it, and I don't know what he did with it.
Well, toilet paper is often
Yeah.
used.
Yeah. I don't know if robots could do that, but but yeah, I've never played any of the Chibi-Robo games. Have you?
Nope, never owned a GameCube, but I often wanted to, though. It looked...
Yeah, it looks strange. It has a unique look, and definitely this one says it's augmented reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks really good. I really, really want this game.
Yeah, I'll definitely pick this up. It looks like one of those like off-the-wall, strange Japanese titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what's the next thing we have here? You could take it if you want.
They announced, well, everybody knew the Pokemon Bank is coming, and they confirmed that there will be a 30-day free trial of the thing, because they actually are going to charge people for it, monthly, I think.
The irony, the Pokemon Bank charges.
Yeah. But when you do activate the Pokemon Bank for the first time, you can get yourself a free Celebi!
Yay!
Yay! Yeah, it's cool, I guess.
That's cool that they give you some sort of incentive to at least try it out.
Mm-hmm.
During that 30-day free trial period.
Yep.
It's good enough. Do you know how much it's going to cost? Like, the regular, is it like $10 or something? I don't remember.
I've heard it's around $5, so...
Okay.
Not too bad, but still, I think most people will get their usage out of the 30 free days.
Mm-hmm. I find it kind of strange that they were doing this to begin with. Because in, like, Pokemon games in the past, like, you would just get what you could have, like, it's kind of... How many Pokemon can you hold at a time in the new X and Y? Like, do you really need a Pokemon bank, or can't you store it, like, there's some, like, in-game storage where you could do that? I don't know. It just seems kind of strange that they're doing this to begin with.
Well, it's kind of nice. It's mostly to transfer Pokemon over from, like, past games, because this will be usable with Black, White, Black 2, White 2, and Pokemon X and Y.
Okay, so I can see you transferring over the Pokemon from those games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been out for a while now, so I know a lot of people completed the game by now.
Yep.
So it's kind of... I don't know, it just seems kind of strange that they're doing this. But it's a cool addition.
And it's Pokemon. It's a game people continue to play and play anyway.
Yeah, over and over, so...
Alright.
So you could get the next one too, and we could switch off every two. So.
Yeah, sounds good. The next one here, everybody likes microtransactions. And they confirmed that Bravery Default will be getting microtransactions. They were kind of proud of that too, to be honest. But more importantly, they announced that Bravery Default is going to be getting a demo, and that's coming out very soon. But what's very awesome about this demo, it's featuring an entire side story separate from the main game. That is awesome.
That is really cool.
I love it when games do that.
That's really cool because that way you don't spoil some of the game for you, like the main game, and at the same time you don't have to replay that portion of the game if you eventually buy it.
Yeah.
Like when you play a demo, you usually just play like a level of the game, then you get the game, you have to replay it again.
Yep.
So it kind of takes you out of that experience. At least it's a side, separate story, and you could get a sense of what the game's about, and at the same time, do a side story without spoiling any of the main game. I think it's really cool. I wish more companies would do this, actually.
Mm-hmm. Same here. It's impressive that they're doing this with a handheld title.
Yeah, I guess Bravely Default is doing very good for Square Enix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, best of luck to Square Enix with this new franchise. So moving on to the next bit of news here. This was kind of strange too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of caught me off guard, and that is Sonic Lost World got Yoshi's Island themed DLC, and that's free. Of course, if you own the game. And it's basically a level of Sonic Lost World themed around Yoshi's Island. And it looks pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they also hinted at some Zelda, theme level in the future. They were like, oh, you see this link between the games. It was so cheesy. Because they were like, look out for the hint. But yeah, this looks really cool. And I have to say,
weird.
it is weird, but it's nice to see like Hyrule Warriors that Nintendo is allowing other people to, handle their properties. And of course, it isn't like a new Yoshi's game, but it's a cool crossover.
Yep.
So the next one here is Wii Sports Golf has been added to Wii Sports Club. It is, I believe, $10, as are the other games if you just want to outright buy them. I think it's $2-3 to rent it for a day or a couple days, something like that. But I did try this out, and I'll be talking about it later on in the podcast. So I'll switch it off to you now.
All right. Well, the next thing that Nintendo announced was NES Remix, which is basically trying to get more money from you for old classic games. Seriously, I took one look at this and was like, I don't, other than seeing Zelda, Link in the old school Donkey Kong level going up and avoiding the barrels from Donkey Kong, I saw nothing different from what they were showing. It was like, wait, is this just all the old games again? What's new here?
I was pretty confused myself, and I was even more confused when they announced the price and it's $15.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
No.
I was like, what is going on? And I've heard some people who've played it and they've enjoyed it, but to me, this just, I guess it seems like they try to do what was that popular game online? Where they would use like the Mario levels and switch them up and all that. So it seems like they basically took,
Super
ripped
Mario
off.
Crossover.
Yeah, that one. They just ripped off those people and decided to create their own thing. And it's based around, the NES classic games and classic characters. Personally, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, me neither. It looks boring as hell.
Exactly.
Next up here, speaking of boring.
Even worse.
Yeah. A brand new Wii U game is coming. Dr. Luigi. And the brand new feature that's different from Dr. Mario, L-shaped blocks. Seriously?
The year of Luigi.
Nintendo, you had to do something to outbest yourself from fucking Cranky Kong, didn't you? It's like, oh, we announced Cranky Kong at the VGX. We need something more important. L-shaped blocks, Dr. Luigi. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking?
I've never gotten into the Dr. Mario franchise, and I don't plan to. It's just not for
It's a
me.
poor man's Tetris. That's what.
Yeah, it's just not for me. And now they announced Dr. Luigi because of the year of Luigi, and they're also charging $15 for this, which is even more than you would think this would be charged, like at $5 to $10
Oh,
at the
wait.
most.
It's just a $15 game?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of okay with that for a second.
You thought it was
thought this was a full fucking retail.
You thought it was a full retail? Oh, that would be even worse. Yeah,
Okay,
this
okay.
this is gonna be a downloadable title like NES Remix. I don't know if it's out already like NES Remix, but it's either out or coming, right around the corner to celebrate the year of Luigi.
Great. All right.
But moving into the next, this kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. Rosalina, which is a female character from the original Super Mario Galaxy, has been announced for Super Smash Bros. Alongside the Luma from the Galaxy games, and that's not what bothered me, but the trailer and how they showed off these characters did.
Oh.
Because it was a complete bait and switch. Basically, they showed, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong on Rainbow Road, and out of nowhere, Kirby shows up, and I'm like, what? They're adding Kirby to Mario Kart. And then they show a Luma, and they show Rosalina. I'm like, oh, they're adding them to Mario Kart. They're finally going to do Nintendo Kart like how Sonic and All-Stars Racing has done in their game. So I was so excited. I was like, yes, yes. And then they're like, new challenger. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, and they switched it over to a trailer for Super Smash Brothers. And I don't mind this character being in the game. I actually thought it's pretty cool. And I like the addition of the Luma as like the little side character, Rosalina. What just bothered me was how they showed it. I had certain expectations, and I went into this event, with low expectations, especially after the VGX. And I saw that, and it got me really excited. And then they showed off a trailer for Mario Kart 8, which actually looks really damn good. And I've been, down on the Mario Kart franchise for the last couple years, especially after playing Sonic All-Stars Racing, which I enjoy a lot more in terms of level design and the variety of characters. So I don't know. Personally, it kind of threw me off. I was mad, but I'm not mad that Rosalina's in Smash Brothers. I'm just mad how they decided to show this trailer, and it just threw me off. But yeah, the next thing that they announced is that the Yoshi's New Island, which was already announced, sometime this past year, is coming out sometime in spring 2014. And that's another thing. They're not giving strict, release dates. And
it'll be out sometime.
It'll be out sometime. They did that with Smash Brothers. They did that with Mario Kart. They did that with Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors was like, 2014. Smash Bros. Was like, they didn't even say. I know Mario Kart was like spring. I don't know. I wish Nintendo would give, release dates, because the next game we got coming up is in February for the Wii U, and that is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which they actually showed another trailer off, which this trailer, they should have showed it at the VGX, not that boring footage of playing as Cranky Kong. This trailer was actually pretty badass, and it got me pretty excited for the game, especially with the music from David Wise, who worked on the other Donkey Kong Country games. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the Nintendo Direct.
So all in all, nothing really that important.
Yeah, nothing too big. I'm interested, honestly, in Hyrule Warriors just to see how that turns out. And some of the, Sonic Lost World DLC is pretty cool. And Rosalina being added, but there was nothing major. Yeah, we still don't know anything about the new Zelda, which Hyrule Warriors, they made sure to say this is not the next Zelda. This is just a side story. And that makes me worried, because when the hell is the real Zelda coming out then? It's not coming out in 2014 then, if Hyrule Warriors is coming out. It's going to come out, 2015? I don't know. I really enjoy my Nintendo products. The 3DS is doing fantastic. The Wii U is a really underrated console, in my opinion, but it just needs the support. And if Nintendo doesn't want to, buckle down and say, okay, Mario Kart's coming out March 20-something, at this point. They should really be at a point where they give strict release dates. Anyway,
All right.
let's move past the Nintendo discussion and get into some of the, other news stories this week. So you want to start us off with those?
I shall indeed. Avengers, assemble! In Minecraft for the 360. Because Marvel Avengers skins are coming to Minecraft on the Xbox 360. This is actually pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of costumes ranging from Hulk, Captain America, to the Red Skull, and other various heroes and villains. So, pretty cool. This is their first licensed product coming to the game.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I know once I tell my brother about this, he'll probably like it because he likes, of course, Marvel superheroes, and he loves Minecraft, so this makes sense for a lot of people, definitely. So it's a cool news story, definitely.
Yep. I hope the PS3 version gets it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will eventually. So moving into the next news story we got here. Once again, anal probes have made a game essentially be banned in Australia, and that is South Park: The Stick of Truth has been refused classification for the second time in Australia, and now it's because of anal probes being involved in some way in this game. And if you guys are fans of the South Park, television series, anal probes have been around since pretty much the beginning of season 1 way back then. So it really does suck that Australia has not gotten their act together when it comes to this. It seemed like they were when they instituted the whole R18 plus, and which is kind of like our mature rating here in the States and North America. But anal probes. But yeah, it just sucks. That's what it does.
Yeah. Their government is just quite anal about everything.
Oh, second one.
All right, well, we've probed that story enough, so let's...
Oh, snap.
Next up here on our list... Yeah. I don't know. Australia doesn't like to take anything in the rear. That's...
Oh.
Okay, so enough with the puns. Let's move on. And that's Diablo 3 Reapers of Souls expansion pack has gotten a release date. And just like every fucking thing else, it's coming out in March 25th, 2014 to be exact. That will be for the PC and Mac versions. No idea if this will be coming out yet for the PS3 and 360 versions. Or we know it will be launching, though, with the PS4 version, but no idea when that will be. So, yeah.
March is getting pretty packed now.
Oh, God.
You got this. You got Infamous Second Son. You got Metal Gear. What else is that month? Is it Dark Souls also?
Souls.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. I have 3. Final Fantasy X HD.
That month is going to be packed. Just like this past year with like Tomb Raider, BioShock, Gears of War, God of War. There was so much stuff in March. March is the new November, pretty much.
Beware the Ides of March.
So, speaking of, upcoming games, supposedly we might be seeing 2 separate Assassin's Creed games in 2014. One for...
What?
They're not milking this franchise enough. The first one's going to be, of course, for current gen, and then for next gen, but next gen is now current, so it should be last. Anyway, so basically, let's just break it down here. There's going to be one game supposedly coming out for Xbox 360 and PS3, and then one game coming out for Xbox One and PS4. As the article here from IGN says, they're unclear if the 360 PS3 version is the re-release of Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation in HD, which is coming out pretty soon here in January. which they haven't updated the story, so it might be the case and that next year they're just going to do strictly a next gen or current, PS4, Xbox One version, which I think would be great, because one thing that has been slightly disappointing going into PS4 and Xbox One, this new gen, is that a lot of games are cross-generational, and that means that they can't take full advantage of the hardware. So if next year we see one on PS4 and Xbox One, it'll probably look freaking ridiculous, honestly, if they could use the hardware. And because Assassin's Creed 4 already looks, great on PS4, even if it's cross-generational. But just imagine what it could look like if it was strictly built from the ground up for those consoles. And although that would be great to see, I think they need to take a year off this franchise. It seems they just don't stop. It's every year.
They gotta keep going. I mean, after Assassin's Creed 3, like we spoke about before the podcast, they were like, we're going to take a break from Assassin's Creed because we don't need to put it out every year. And somebody within Ubisoft was like, fuck that.
Nope.
Coming out.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll just end up being like a mobile game or something.
Yeah, maybe it's another, like Assassin's Creed Pirates, which came out recently on the mobile platforms, but I just wish they would take some time off from the series. I haven't been able to catch up yet. I started 3. I got a couple hours into it. I'm going to give it another try and go through it. I got 4 for PS4. I just haven't started it yet. I think they needed to, if they just take 1 year off just so everybody could catch up and then start doing, them every other year, I would appreciate that. But, when it comes to money and, making money, that's the business that they're in. These games still continue to sell. I know Assassin's Creed 3 sold like over 10 million copies or something, like 13 million. So it's still selling really well.
Yep.
But anyway, moving into the next story.
Yes, it's time to move into the realm of movie news. And as we always do, comic book movie news. Came out this past week. Marvel has confirmed that they have found their Ant-Man. And that man will be Paul Rudd.
Like DJ sound effects.
A very unique casting, and I'm pretty sure Paul Rudd can be perfect for this role. However, they haven't specified yet which Ant-Man this is going to be. More than likely it's going to be Hank Pym, but we still don't know yet.
It's definitely unique, like you said, the casting decision, especially with Paul Rudd, who's known for a lot of comedy movies. But yeah, I'd be interested to see this.
Well, like you just said, he's known for more comedy movies, but considering the director's Edgar Wright, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of humor anyway.
Yeah, that's good. We're going to get another Marvel film.
Yep.
This is pretty cool. And then definitely with Ant-Man, which is it's not like he's, Spider-Man or Hulk, like a major Marvel character. It's cool that we're going to see some of the lesser-known characters get some screen time.
But yet, if it is Hank Pym, that means Marvel will be bringing the second smartest person in the Marvel Universe to the big screen.
That's cool. Speaking of Marvel, another villain has been revealed for the upcoming Avengers Age of Ultron, and that is Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, which is a character which was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1964. It says here he fought in World War II as a Nazi. He's one of the main figures of the villainous organization Hydra. Oh, okay, I see. So he's associated with Red Skull, right? Am I correct? Yeah. So, yeah, this seems interesting that they're gonna, have another villain for this film, which is already getting stacked in terms of the roster of Marvel characters. Jeez.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Baron von Strucker might be very good. Very good. All right. So, lastly, here on our news stories this week, another batch of Marvel news. Marvel decided to come out this past week and confirm something that we've pretty much all known for the past 3 months now, and that's Vin Diesel it's official that Vin Diesel will be voicing Groot in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because we didn't know that 3 months ago.
So yeah, Vin Diesel, now officially a talking tree. Which, I mean, does sound silly, but Groot is an awesome character, and Vin Diesel is an awesome voice actor.
Yeah, he does have a great voice, you know, for voice acting, so I think it'll turn out great.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely cannot wait to see a trailer just to hear him say, "I am Groot," because that's basically his only line in the entire movie. Because that's all Groot says are those 3 words. I am Groot.
That's funny. So yeah, I guess that wraps it up for the news stories, which we had a whole bunch with the Nintendo stuff, 18 great games. Of course, that was from the previous section. But I guess we'll get into the been playing, been watching, and been reading section.
Indeed we shall.
If you want to start us off with what you've been playing this week, Lord X.
I shall indeed. Work's been kind of hectic, so I haven't had the most amount of time to play, but I do have 3 things here I can briefly talk about. First of which is I bought and played The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1. Wow, that's such a mouthful. But let's just say Telltale still got it.
Yeah, I haven't played this yet. Which I spoke about. Which I spoke about earlier. I completely forgot I had downloaded since I've been playing PS4. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing this and seeing the new dynamic of you playing as Clementine instead of Lee.
It's really good. I cannot say anything without spoiling it. So
yeah, don't say anything.
I will just stick to it is really good.
That's great to hear, though.
So, what's something you've been playing this past week?
So, let's see. The usual Call of Duty Ghosts every now and then when I listen to some podcasts. I just, throw on some podcasts and then play some Call of Duty. I did try out some Battlefield 4. It seems like EA's finally got their act together, at least from the experience that I had. I wasn't getting kicked out of servers. I wasn't taking an hour just to get into, a lobby. And it was pretty fun. It's definitely a different dynamic from the Call of Duty series. It's more strategic, more squad-based, but at the same time, nobody wants to have a headset on PS4, even if the PS4 brings a headset. So I just don't understand. Maybe they're talking to each other in some sort of private party chat. And it's probably, that's probably what's going on. But it definitely looks great, a lot better than Call of Duty in terms of the graphics. It's pretty fun, but since I'm used to Call of Duty, it's something that I have to, get used to. So those are 2 quick ones right there. Anything else you've been playing?
I picked up last week Guacamelee on PS3 since they had it on sale for $3.75. So that was downloaded and immediately put onto my Vita. And the game, I love the game, as people know from my Let's Play of it, returning in January, by the way. But yeah, the game looks great on the Vita, and playing it has been a joy thus far. I haven't gotten far yet on the Vita version, but from what I've played, it has been great. Controls feel very nice on the Vita.
That's really good to hear. I've had this game downloaded. It's another one of those backlog games. I downloaded it sometime earlier this year, maybe over the summer, and I just never got around to playing it because I have a tendency of like downloading a game and then to free up space on the hard drive, I'll delete it. So then I forget that I ever downloaded it in the first place. So yeah, I just haven't gotten around to playing it, but it's, I love the art style of the game from all the footage that I saw in the gameplay. It looks quite challenging, but
it can be at parts, yeah.
Yeah. It still looks pretty fun. I definitely have to give that a go pretty soon. I'll probably play it on PS3 though, because I want to see it on a larger screen. But moving into the next game that I've been playing, which I talked about earlier, it'll be a quick overview, and that is Wii Sports Club Golf, and it's Wii Sports Club Golf. The only thing they changed about it was now that you put your gamepad on the floor, and then you like aim with your Wiimote, and then you can see the ball on the floor, and you moving back and forth. So it's kind of a new dynamic, but it's just more golf. It isn't too complex. It wasn't like absolutely amazing. I just tried out the free trial. I didn't actually buy it because for each of these games, when they release them, they give you a 24-hour free trial, which is a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And then the last game that I've been playing is Need for Speed Rivals, which I just got a couple days ago. I was actually streaming some, footage the other day when I first was playing it. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't gotten into a Need for Speed game probably since Need for Speed Underground 2 on the PS2.
Yeah.
So I've played, some of the more recent ones in between, like the PSP version when the PSP launched, the 360 version when the 360 launched, and more recently Need for Speed The Run, which I thought was terrible in terms of the handling of the cars. It was atrocious. And then Most Wanted on the Vita, which I played last year, but they just never grabbed me like the ones on the PS2. But this one is super fun. It's open world. You're on a server with about 5 or 6 other players. So whenever you run into each other, you could, hit the L1 button or R1 button, I believe, and just immediately start a race from there. It's very, seamless, very cool.
Awesome.
You could do different challenges. Like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about it, there's these power-ups that are sort of like Mario Kart. There's this power-up called a shockwave that you get near a character, not a character, but near a car, and you hit the shockwave button and it sends the other car flying and like making the other car crash. You have like super nitrous boost. You have like EMP blast, which causes other cars to shut off. So it's some really cool things that maybe if you're more into the simulation style racing games, you probably won't like this. It's very arcadey.
Oh, sweet. That makes me even more excited.
Yeah, this is very arcadey, especially with those different power-ups. It kind of reminds me of, what was that game that came out a couple years ago that had power-ups? Can't remember. Blur, yeah. It kind of reminds me of that in terms of the power-ups and stuff. I haven't unlocked all the power-ups and everything, so I don't know what's ahead of me. But it's very cool, and you get to either choose playing as a racer or a cop. So it has 2 different story modes, so you have some variety there. The cops, I haven't tried that mode yet, but from what I've done in the tutorial, you have to, catch different cars. You have like even better cars as a cop, of course, because it's just ridiculous. They have like Bugatti cop cars. Like, who the hell in America is gonna fucking pay for a Bugatti cop car? But that's what's fun about these games. They're just over the top. Like when you're racing, you could get through these repair shops and you automatically get regenerated your health. So it's very arcadey. It's not simulation at all. I definitely recommend it if you have a PS4, Xbox One, and are looking for a racing game. Of course, the only racing game on PS4 is that as of right now. Xbox One, you got the option again, Forza, which is of course more simulation. It's definitely cool. I definitely recommend it for you to check it out because it's actually surprised me. I thought I was just gonna get a couple races in and then just be done with it, but there's more to it, especially with the open world.
Sweet. Yeah.
And I forgot to mention the graphics. It looks very nice. Like it doesn't look like absolutely amazing, but the environments look very detailed, very nice. So.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I definitely have that one on my radar. It's probably going to be the next PS4 game that I pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I don't have to buy Tearaway now.
Yeah, it's pretty damn fun, man. Like, and you could do the whole auto log thing. So if you have friends who play it, like it'll automatically show up. Like, oh, you could beat his score, beat his race, beat his time. And the interface, it's kind of confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it's very easy. You just hit right on the D-pad, and then you can look for the events and the time trials and things like that, and then automatically mark it on your map. So I kept trying to hit the options button to hit start and go to like the map and then look for it, but it's easier just to do it on the D-pad. And the only thing at the beginning, the only complaint that I have is that at the beginning, there's like a bunch of menus and tutorials and hand holding.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was getting mad on my stream. I was like, you got to be kidding me, because I had to do it like 2 or 3 times, watch the same damn cutscene.
Oh.
Because I got kicked out of the server. So every time you got kicked out of the server and you're still like in the tutorial mode, you have to restart it. So it was annoying the crap out of me. But anyway, once you get through all the tutorial stuff, it's really fun.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, the last thing that I've been playing this week, I've gotten addicted to Minecraft again. This time on the PlayStation 3. I don't think I need to explain what Minecraft is, because I'm pretty sure everybody on this planet has played it by now. You know what Minecraft is. It's on the PS3. Just put 1 and 1 together and boom. That's what I've been playing.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it, but I'm still waiting for the PS4 and Vita version, definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't wait. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy them anyway. Fuck it. I want the platinum trophy.
Yeah. So
Right.
So yeah, I haven't played anything else. I guess we could move into the been watching section if you've been watching anything this week.
Yeah, I haven't gotten much here, but it's another episode of Doctor Who. I'm on season 3 now, and things are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And other than Doctor Who, the only other show I've been watching this past week, I think, has been Futurama. I caught up on a couple more episodes of that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been watching this week. Pretty boring, but working Minecraft has taken up most of my time.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself?
So I'm trying to think of what I have been watching, and probably maybe some Batman animated series here and there. But the one thing I do want to bring up is this new documentary. Well, relatively new. It probably came out, a month or 2 ago. And it's called Necessary Evil, the Supervillains of DC Comics. It's available on DVD, available on Blu-ray. And it's basically a documentary. I think it's a little over 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken, maybe closer to 3, which is actually pretty long for one of these types of documentaries. And it just goes through the history of the supervillains of the DC Comics, talking about what makes them good, what makes them bad. It has a lot of different people involved with it, like Dan DiDio, which is a co-publisher of DC Comics, has like Jeff Johns, which is like the head of creative over there, and he's known for working on, the Green Lantern reboot from a couple years ago, and of course the New 52, all that. It even has CM Punk from WWE, which kind of caught me off guard. Wow. He had, this brief cameo when they were talking about the Joker, and he had some comments about that character, because if you're a fan of CM Punk, he's a fan of comic books, so they brought him into this documentary. So it's really well made, really well put together. It's really cool seeing the perspective from different people. They even had a psychologist from, I don't remember if it was UCLA or, one of those universities over in the West Coast. And it was really cool to see her and, like breaking down different aspects of supervillains and her being a fan of comics, which you don't usually see from like professors So it's really well put together. It's currently, I don't know if it's on sale anymore. I know I got it on sale for $10 at Best Buy. It might not be on sale anymore. That might have been a sale from last week, but yeah, that's about it. I did also pick up Django, which I had seen before, and it's a great movie if you haven't seen it. And Man of Steel, I bought the Blu-ray for that.
Nice.
I haven't rewatched it again, but I am going to rewatch it. I'm looking forward to checking out the special features because they have like a 2-3 hours of like special features, like in depth, behind the scenes, with the writers, the producers, the cast. So I always enjoy watching those things on Blu-ray. So definitely looking forward to watching that.
Cool beans. Yeah, I need to buy the Man of Steel Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for a Boxing Day sale, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, that one was on sale too for $10. So it was Django. So I was like, I saw them all. I was like, oh, $10 each. I'll definitely get them. And I was looking to get like Iron Man 3, but I've noticed ever since Disney purchased Marvel, the films that they own are expensive now, just like the Disney Blu-rays. Like Disney Blu-rays never drop in price from like $25 to $30. I went to get Iron Man 3. It was like $35. I was like, what? And that's been out, not too long, but it's been out for, I'd say, a couple months now, right? So I expected the price to dip a little bit. But I was like, whoa. So yeah, that was disappointing. But for the price of that, I got 3 other movies.
Nice. All right. Well, I haven't been reading anything this week. You?
Nope.
All right, then. So that moves us into our shameless self-promotion, which the only thing I want to promote this week is basically my top 10 games of 2013, which, like I said earlier, should be it by the time this podcast goes up, because I'm currently editing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. I know I want to do one myself, but I'll probably hold off till like January once I get through, more games that I can play and everything. So, but I'll definitely check that out once you, wrap up and get that uploaded. But for myself this week, I got a couple days off, so I plan on doing some YouTube videos. A buddy of mine from YouTube called Sega CD Universe. He's trying to do this whole like not like a contest, but like a collaboration between like some of his friends on YouTube, since he just hit 900 subs. And it's going to be like a funny, cheesy type of thing. So he wants me to record some of that. So I'm going to record some of that tomorrow, send it his way.
Cool.
And then hopefully do some more stuff on the Project PlayStation channel. Maybe like part 2 to my PS4 impressions, which I never did, and it's been a month. And maybe my old YouTube channel also, the Israel Pacheco 89. I'm planning on coming back to that, but now I'm not going to just focus on games. Like I'm going to make it more like a vlog. Cool. Where I just talk about whatever's on my mind, like, comics, music, movies, also video games, of course. And that's just going to be simple. I'm not going to do a lot of editing. It's just going to be rambling in front of a camera. Like the Project PlayStation channel is going to be slightly more, edited and clips and audio and stuff. But my regular channel is just going to be me in front of a camera pretty much. So
cool. Sweet. Looking forward to all of that, man.
Yep, thanks.
All right, so I guess that leads us into questions and comments for this past week. And we actually do have 2 comments here this week.
Finally.
Baby Peticio added nice video, smiley face emoticon.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, baby. And that sounded weird. Thank you very much, Peticio. That sounded better. And also, Gamer Joe actually left us another comment this week.
Sweet.
And his comment was on both Tearaway and the Terminator story that we covered last week. So to quote him, "For the love of Jupiter, I wish Hollywood would just leave the Terminator alone. The first 2 movies are near perfect. the subsequent sequels and series, sorry fans, were atrocious. I think we should remember the franchise for what it was and say hasta la vista, baby, to this ridiculous idea of a reboot. Also, go buy Tearaway. If you don't have the money, sell some blood. If you can't do that, sell a lung, or a kidney, or a liver, or a heart. Those things you don't need, but you really do need Tearaway on the Vita.
That's good. I definitely like that comment. But yeah, to talk about his comment about the Terminator films. I don't think the sequels are that bad. I know 3 is kind of, but I did enjoy the reboot that they try to do, Terminator Salvation. I didn't think it was that bad. I enjoyed that film, but it's definitely not up to the originals, and especially the second one. The second one's classic sci-fi film, one of the best of all time.
I'm probably going to make some of our audience cringe now, and I'm sure I'm going to make Joe cringe, but the only Terminator movie I've seen fully is Salvation.
Salvation?
Yeah. I have never seen the original 2.
Yeah, he's probably like throwing shit at his screen right now. What? But yeah, definitely check out, at least check out the second one, because that is the best one in the franchise in my opinion.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I keep meaning to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite good. The second one, that's my favorite one, and that's the one that's held up, in highest regard.
All right, and well, Joe, for that great comment. Well, since you didn't leave a comment on the last episode, but it was one before that you wanted one. So yeah, you're qualified for a free game again this time around. So I will be sending you a list again, probably the exact same list that I sent you last time, minus the one game that you did choose. So look forward to winning yet another free game. You see, folks, if you leave questions or comments, you too can win a free game here on the CanUK podcast. So
nice.
So Merry Christmas, Joe. So yeah, and guys, if you do have questions and comments for us, please leave questions and comments. For this week, why don't you tell us about those 18 great games you may have missed in 2013? If you played any of the games that we were clueless about, give us some info. Tell us why we should buy those games. Or tell us some games that weren't included on the list that you think should have been on that list, such as The Puppeteer or, I don't know...
Rayman Legends.
Rayman Legends, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, tell us some games that you thought should have been on this list. Maybe Guacamelee, or no, a lot of people played that and knew about it, so... Alright, so, yeah, questions, comments about anything and everything, leave them down below, win a free game. And I do believe that's going to end it for this episode. So, Israel, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Have a nice break. Hopefully, if you're in school or you have some days off from work. Definitely next week, let us know in the comment section also if whatever you got for Christmas. Some, as Lord X said, some of the games that you might have played this year that you thought were underrated. Yeah, that wraps it up for this week. Maybe next week we could also talk about what things we got for Christmas ourselves. So, a brief little segment. So, as always, you can catch us here next week. Appreciate it, guys. Peace.
Bye, everybody.